Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? Welcome to Sunday Inspiration. I wanted to make sure I get this in, regardless of what's going on in my life, regardless of what is happening. I wanted to be an example of when someone says that the show must go on and things must continue to happen. That means that if you have an obligation or you have something that you're supposed to do or a responsibility, then if you're able to do that, not even in the capacity that you once could, but if you were able to do it in any kind of way, then you should take it upon yourself to try. So, regardless of whether the backdrop isn't the way it is, or I didn't pick some spectacular place, or the fact that I might not have a shirt on because I'm in the hospital, as y'all know, I still like Sunday inspirations to go on, and the people who depend on it, the people who need it, the people who research it, the people who have to do assignments to get credit or day passes or weekend passes, I want them to still be able to do it. So, a lot of times when you talk to people and you have to have a time frame, or you have to have some type of scheduling, like I have a clock that's on the top of my screen on purpose, so I know around the time limits that I have and the time that I have to speak. You 9 times out of 10, when you start to speak and you start to get good at it, you'll start to realize that you implement too much of your own self inside your speeches or inside your circumstances or your lectures or whatever you choose to call them. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to take myself out of the situation, because sometimes I might lose an audience, or audience may not come and get what they want because I'm constantly talking about what I'm personally going through, and that's not the sign or a trait of a good teacher. So I will go outside the box. I won't talk about anything that's referring or relating to me per se at this moment. God is still in the healing business. He's still in the working business, and my situation is exactly what that is, and I don't want my situation to interfere with what we have going on. What I'm noticing from the ages of about, I'll say 6 to about 18, seriously right now, I see it in my sons. I see it in my sons. I see it in what they listen to. I see it in what they show. I watch their channels, and they have channels of their own too, even though they're not even old enough to go outside by themselves, but they have these channels and they be on YouTube and they be on Facebook, and I'm noticing that the things that they portray and are can be directly, I would say, associated or drawn from what everyone else is doing. I'm not calling my sons clones. What I'm basically saying is, usually in America, we have this thing called a herd mentality, when people genuinely tend to like the same thing, listen to the same thing, look at the same things, play the same things, and individuality isn't necessarily something that's obtained. So in the beginning, for me, I like to diagnose the first problem as most people don't understand the concept of individuality because of the judging. You have to learn how to judge yourself based upon yourself, not judging yourself based upon your outside situations or the people that you see around you, or people that you might see on TV, people you might see doing the same thing you want to do. If you, as a female rapper, you judging yourself by Cardi B, who's Cardi B, or if you want to be a rapper and you judging yourself by Jay-Z, and you're not Jay-Z, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a situation where you never ever will see where or who or what you need to work on or be, because you'll continuously be focusing on something other than yourself. I don't look at my life and say my life is good because I'm living better than him. I don't look at my life and say my life is bad because I don't have what he has. What I do is I'm learning to look at my life and say, how do my life compare to what it was 6 months ago? 3 months ago, who was I? Am I better or worse than that person 3 months ago? I'm learning to judge and view myself based upon my own self. I have to reach the goals that's possible for me to reach. I have to get to a place that's possible for me to get. And one of the things that would hinder me or stop me from reaching that is if I'm looking past my hand or below my feet. What does that mean? When a person looks past their hand, they're trying to obtain something that they can't. If you a female rapper, or if you like dancing, how could you be where Cardi B at, or be where, the Jamie Brothers at, when you haven't put in the work that neither one of them has done? You haven't gotten the breaks. You haven't been through the fire. You haven't came out on the other end. You haven't done any of these things these other people have done. So you might be right where you need to be at, but instead of you seeing yourself as being right where you be at, you see yourself behind. Therefore, you put too much effort and too much energy into being somewhere other than where you're supposed to be. That's called reaching past your hand. Some people back in the days called it living beyond your means. When you are trying to do something you know good and well that you aren't supposed to do, or that you can't do. Not that you never will be able to do it, but at this particular time, that's not your lane. That's not something that you are supposed to live or do. Then you have people that look below their feet. They feel as though they don't want to shine. They feel as though they don't want to outdo someone. They feel offended because every time they're around someone that they're doing better than, they always got something smart to say, not understanding that people genuinely will hate on you when you're above them. That's just natural. Naturally, when you are in a space that someone else is not at, they will always dictate or tell you that the reason or why you got into that space is because of something that you did that didn't have anything to do with the fact that you got there, based upon your own skills and your own determination. So, for a lack of a subject and because of the time span that we have, one of the things we're going to start working on is judging you by yourself, not judging you based upon whatever someone else loves. Number two, find something that you like that you don't see nobody else like, a song that you don't hear everyone else sing. If you're black, why don't you listen to some country music? If you're a country singer, why don't you listen to some R&B? It's like you have to force yourself to go outside of what's right in front of your face. And if you do that, you'll discover that you like a whole lot of stuff that you never even gave yourself a chance to, because you never opened yourself up for the opportunity of it. Now, like always, remember that someone didn't tell you they love you, they are do. And also remember that if you're having a bad day, also remember that you can have a great day, and a great day on purpose, not because you got paid or somebody did something for you, or you got a favor, or you met that girl or that guy you wanted to go out with, or you scored or whatever. You can have a great day just because you woke up. And most importantly, remember that if your day is miserable, if you have a miserable life, then you chose to have that miserable life because you could have took what was miserable in your life and removed it. Decopbo 1.